What a year he's had. I mean, he is the prototype of what it means to be a college basketball player. The development over his time here. He's the poster child for what it means, what that phrasing player development means. And you saw him on the possession. He grabs the board on the other end, the defensive rebound. He can handle it. He can lead the break. It's become such a tough matchup. And then, oh, by the way, he's got the matchup against Hunter Tyson defensively.
It's also his 24th birthday.
So he does it all.
That speaks to where we are in college basketball, right? With red shirts and COVID years and transfers. And Mutz was a highly coveted transfer from Delaware. His third stop after starting at High Point. Now in his third season with Virginia Tech. Working on his fourth degree, Chris. How many degrees did you have?
That's classified, Anish. When you tell me somebody's got 4, I'd rather not answer. How do you have time for 4 degrees?
He's 24 years old. They changed the foul to P.J. Hall, not Shefflin. Substitutions now for Clemson. Dylan Hunter, Chase Hunter's younger brother, comes in. Chase to the bench. Both free throws good for Mutz, who comes into this game averaging 21 and 10 in Tech's 3 ACC games. There's the matchup, Tyson and Mutz. Galloway nearly lost it. Drops it off down low to Shefflin. Working on Basile, and that's a good sign for Virginia Tech. Basile did not have his best defensive game against Wake Forest. Struggled on the defensive end against BC as well, as we get a foul, a tripping.
Yeah, it's interesting with Basile, a guy who transfers in from Wright State. Had a good start to the year, but all his numbers are down in conference play. I think he's adjusting to the Atlantic Coast Conference, and foul trouble in the last 2 games did not help.
Here comes Padula down the lane and can't get the layup to fall. Dylan Hunter the other way. A lot of Hunters on the floor, even though Hunter Couture is out with an injury for Virginia Tech. Dylan Hunter to Hunter Tyson on cue. The 3, no. And the rebound tapped by Shefflin. We get a foul on the floor. It's on Basile, and that's 1.
That's 2 clean looks Hunter Tyson has had in this game so far. A guy who, you know, you mentioned the numbers he had the other day against NC State. 26 of those were in the second half. He had 17 straight at one point. Just a magnificent performance.
Neither team connecting early on. Both teams are combined to 2 of 13. Darius Maddox gets it to Basile. Tyson went for the steal, and it's off the foot of P.J. Hall.
You know, both these teams similar offensively. They run a lot of crossing stuff. The ball is going to see both sides. They make you defend a lot of different types of actions.
6'8" John Camden into the game for Virginia Tech. Now Kidd working on Hall. Basile, shot clock down to 8, and a foul on the floor. And that's going to be 2 on Shefflin. That's a tough matchup early on for Ian Shefflin.
13 foul.
Well, in Basile, you know, we talked about the versatility of Mutz. He's, I think, better on the block. Basile's a face-up guy, but he's got a big body, and he'll post you up too. I mean, you know, it's interesting. Both these front lines are unique in terms of both of their versatilities. You know, both front lines can step out and shoot it. Both are pretty good passing front lines. They can post you.
Here comes Padula. Weaving through traffic, off the window, rebound to Tyson, who's averaging close to a double-double on the season. Chase Hunter, blossoming as a point guard, strong to the 10.
And that was the one thing for Virginia Tech and Mike Young. They have to keep Chase Hunter out of the paint. Really off of ball screens, but he looks to dive in there early, and he creates so much havoc.
Here comes Maddox. Padula, catch and release. Scott. Sean Padula just 1 of 9 from deep last time out in the loss to Wake Forest. And 2 of his last 14 from 3. Galloway at the other end.
You're talking about how Justin Mutz turned 24 years old. How about Brevin Galloway, 25 years old?
We got some elder statesmen in this game. A 6th-year senior, 3rd stop. Poteet wasn't ready for it. Middlebrooks ahead of the pack. Goes up, misses the dunk. And we get a foul as Tyson tried to clean up. Well, the crowd here at Castle Coliseum doesn't like it.
Conference plays 20 games. I'll tell you what, I saw Pitt last weekend. They are very good. I mean, they are for real. They're very old and tough. I mean, they can beat you in a number of different ways.
I go back to what Brad Brownell told us at shoot-around. He said what helps the ACC teams in March is you see so many different styles in this league. Now, that hurts you in conference play. You're beating up against your own. You cover the Big 12 as well. You don't see that kind of variety in terms of how teams defend. Maddox trapped. Basile on the bench for Virginia Tech. He's got 2 fouls. Mutz picked up 1. Shot clock down to 8. Maddox over Tyson. Back iron. Rebound to Chase Hunter. His pass deflected. It comes back to his brother Dylan. Middlebrooks sets the high screen. Padula in the passing lane. Galloway out to Dylan Hunter. Down the lane. Weaving inside. Tried to corkscrew through the defense, and Mutz the rebound. Elijah Poteet, number 34 for Virginia Tech. Junior, a Rice transfer. As Camden's 3 is no good. Tech continuing to struggle from the field, and that was supposed to be a pass.
Well, the guy's got to be looking at it. He's got to know it's coming. You know, and if you're Mike Young, what a job he's done, first and foremost. I mean, I think I have a ton of respect for Coach Young. It was interesting talking to him today about the last 2 games, both losses for his team. There was a different energy at their shoot-around. We were talking about the turnover issues they've had. He said, it will be rectified. We do not turn the basketball over at Virginia Tech. The one thing he is having to deal with again is Grant Basile in foul trouble. And that second foul on that break is not a foul that young man can pick up.
He's too valuable offensively. And it's a team that they've had turnover issues as Padula misses the 3. The last couple of games, they've given up too many offensive rebounds as Hunter goes flying in, but that's going the other way, offensive foul.
That's a nice take. The one thing with Chase Hunter is he's incredibly fast from end to end. And man, he took a shot there in the unmentionables. Nice job standing in there. But you know, you mentioned earlier, Anish, the development in Chase Hunter's game. He's not a point guard by trade, but he's certainly figuring that out.
Mutz down low. MJ Collins to stay with Virginia Tech. Well, that was the big question for Clemson. Point guard play. You lose Nick Honor to Missouri. You lose Alamir Dawes to Seton Hall. Who would run point? This staff had a lot of faith that Chase Hunter could do it, even though he hadn't played point guard as a primary position throughout his career as we get to travel.
Well, the one thing that this backcourt this year, particularly Hunter, they bring in Josh Beadle, who's in there now, there's better positional size. I mean, those guys are 6'3", 6'3". Dylan Hunter, 6'3". The one thing about that backcourt last year, it was small. You know, Dawes is small. Nick Honor was small.
Here is Beadle, redshirt freshman out of Columbia, South Carolina. Middlebrooks going to work on Kidd. Middlebrooks didn't have enough. Shot might have been tipped. Here comes Padula. Accelerates, bumped off, and we'll get a foul. It's going to be on Beadle, his first.
Sean Padula is so tough, man. There is no back down in him. It's been a joy to watch him so far this season. He added 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason. Really crafty around the rim. He plays a lot bigger than his 6 feet, 6'1" frame.
It comes from being the 7th of 9 children and playing driveway games where you weren't supposed to call fouls. Camden, too strong. Rebound to Tyson. He had older siblings who played basketball. His dad played basketball. One brother played rugby. So that tells you everything you need to know.
I think the toughness probably comes from mom, who gave birth to 9 children. It's
Real MVP.
That is yeoman's work right there.
Real MVP. Tyson on the backdoor cut with authority.
They love that. They play through that elbow a lot, that pinch post, and they get that backdoor a ton. And Tyson, a little bit chilly from the outside to start this game. Good to get him a dunk, see the ball go in.
And a foul on Chase Hunter, and that is 2 on Clemson's second leading scorer.
Hunter Tyson playing as well as anybody in this league, man. What a heater he's on. He's allowing Sean Padula to do a lot of things this year offensively that Mike Young hasn't allowed his guards to do. You know, he's posting up. He's allowing Padula to do that. You know, he says he'll take some shots sometimes that'll make you scratch your head and say, whoa, what is he doing? But you kind of have to give him that freedom. That's how he loves to play.
There is a fearless nature to his game. Here comes Mutz working on Tyson. And there's Mutz putting together an all-conference caliber season. 4 for Justin Mutz on his birthday. Tech had gone more than 4 minutes without a field goal. Here comes P.J. Hall looking for Tyson, who gets tangled with Mutz down low. And that is 2 now on Mutz, 2 on Basile. So foul trouble becoming an issue in this first half for Mike Young.
And they love that duck in. They love that high-low duck in. And that's the problem. You know, you've got Basile on the bench with the 2, like you said, Anish. And if you're going to put Mutz on Tyson, which, you know, that's the matchup. Yeah, and it's a good call. You come around like that, and they're going to call that.
Mutz stays on with the 2 fouls, and let's see if Clemson attacks him. Shot clock down to 10. Galloway looking for the screen, gets it, almost turned it over. Tyson from the baseline. And the follow by R.J. Godfrey, 6'7" freshman. Dad Randall played more than a decade in the NFL as a linebacker.
It's a heck of an athlete. He doesn't look like a freshman, at least the freshman that I grew up around.
Now Mutz backing down Tyson, up and under, stuffed at the rim, and a 2-handed rebound by Godfrey. Here comes Hall, and able to draw the foul on Lynn Kidd.
How about P.J. Hall? The guy's been through so much injury-wise. He's worked so hard to get himself back. He's worked to become a low-block scorer. The shooting around him this year, you know, certainly helps his ability to do that. Didn't practice last year. You know, only played in games. You know, came down, Anish, to Virginia Tech and Clemson. P.J. Hall's dad actually played for Mike Young at Wofford.
With Hall and Tyson, the guy who can play both inside and outside. The Tigers have a built-in defense mechanism when their three-point shot isn't falling. They're the best three-point shooting team in the ACC. But what's made this team dangerous as we get a lane violation is when that shot's not falling, as was the case a few weeks ago against Georgia Tech, they can go inside, and you've got a guy like Hall with a vast wardrobe of moves in the paint. Padula slips. Beadle trying to stay with him. Padula down the lane, draws the defense, the up and under. Poteet the follow, and hacked from behind.
Foul on Clemson 22, RJ Godfrey, this first.
Virginia Tech's going to have to manufacture some points. They're not shooting it well, and it's not just in this game. Last few games, they have not shot it well, particularly from three, and they've turned the ball over. They're giving up possessions. They've been not great on the offensive glass. They don't get to the foul line a lot. I mean, that's kind of been who they've been over the last couple years in their DNA. Helps to make them when you get there. But they got to find where these points are going to come from. There's a lot on Sean Padula, a lot on Justin Butts to score.
One of the guys they're waiting on is Darius Maddox. Last year, he was one of the best shooters in the country. 51% from three, down to 27. And as a team, Virginia Tech probably wants to be in that 37-38% range from three, if not better. At 35 right now, Mike Young feels there is some upside there. As we get a turnover, a foul down low. It's on Godfrey, his second. But Mike Young feels, hey, where could this team grow? They have the ability and the personnel to get better as a three-point shooting team. Hokies just 3 out of 16 from the field, 1 of 7 from downtown, and only 1 field goal in 6 minutes, and that's stolen away. Godfrey against Poteet. There is a lot of mass on the block. And Godfrey with a nice touch.
Yeah, good poise. Took his time, went over that left shoulder. Advanced post move there from the freshman. Not a lot of resistance. A little bang, but not a lot of resistance from Poteet.
Wild layup by Padula. Tyson another rebound. He's got 5. Beadle. And the follow by Godfrey, but they will wave it off. Basket interference.
This is one of those, if you're Beadle, you say later on to Godfrey, yo, man, it's my bucket, dude.
How about Poteet with the hammer? You got Poteet and Godfrey on both ends. That's the basketball version of the Oklahoma drill. Tyson thought about it. Mutz has the 2 fouls. Godfrey from the outside, the long 2.
You mentioned his dad, former football player. George's brother's at Kentucky playing football now. Wanted to do his own thing, be a hooper.
I think he's got a chance to be pretty good, only a freshman. The 3 from the corner for Darius Maddox, who in the ACC tournament game against Clemson last year hit the 3 at the buzzer in overtime to give Virginia a second-round win. The drop-off for Hall, and he gets fouled. Mike Young hoping that can be a shot that maybe unlocks Darius Maddox. We remind you it's UCLA and USC at Pauley Pavilion Thursday, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. Bruins ranked 10th in the country facing their crosstown rival.
Tell you what, Jaime Jaquez is having himself a player of the year type of season.
For folks in the ACC footprint who haven't seen him, how would you describe his game?
You know what? He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. It's a really good question. He's incredibly versatile. He's physical. Good driver of the basketball. Smart. There's a toughness to that team that Mick Cronin in the few years he's been there that I think sort of manifests through Jaquez.
Yeah, you wondered when he took that job if they would have that same sort of defensive prowess they did with his teams at Cincinnati. He's brought that to Westwood as Poteet. It doesn't have much subtlety, but works.
How about the pass from Justin Butts? That's why he's second on their team in assists. Really unselfish.
5 games this year with 5 or more assists for Mutz. Godfrey now against Basile in there with the 2 fouls. Shot clock down to 8. Godfrey lost his sneaker, playing with just 1 sneaker. But RJ Godfrey, he's gliding out there. He got 1 shoe on. Maddox, the pull-up, and he hits. What happened to Godfrey's other sneaker? Interestingly enough, Clemson is not that far from Greenville, South Carolina. You know what happened in Greenville, South Carolina? That's where Shoeless Joe Jackson got his nickname. True story. He was playing some barnstorm baseball. He was out in right field. Had new cleats that just didn't fit right, so at some point in the game he decided to take them off. He was playing just in his socks and his stirrups. At one point in the game, lines the ball into the gap, races around second base, slides into third, and somebody from the grandstands yelled, "You shoeless bleep," and the nickname stuck.
I mean, I can't verify your story. You could be making that entire thing up. Well done if you are, but I believe you.
True story.
And nobody connects the dots quite like you. RJ Godfrey, in a game in Blacksburg, Virginia, loses a shoe. Clemson's not even in Greenville, South Carolina.
It's close, though.
It's like 40 minutes.
It's where the airport is.
You are one of the best in the biz. That's why you get paid the big bucks in these.
RJ Godfrey. Now this is where you do your work.
Yeah, he's talented, and like you said, they're real high on him. He's kind of a dirty work guy right now, one of those athletes. But as he showed you on that play there, they'll throw it to him on the block. He can step out, hit a face-up shot. Really a good athlete. He started actually in their last game against NC State, got into foul trouble early in that game, but 6'7", 225 pounds. Shoeless RJ Godfrey.
Well, did they find the sneaker?
By the way, there's Alex Hemingway standing there outside the huddle. As good a shooter as there is in this league. One of the most feared shooters in this league. So playing without him and plantar fasciitis, which is a brutal injury to have. It's a lingering injury to have. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get him back in the lineup.
He was in a walking boot for a while. He's finally out of the boot. Missing now his 3rd straight game. And on the other side, Virginia Tech missing its best shooter. We saw in the ACC tournament what Hunter Couture could do when he's hot.
Yeah, it took a brutal fall in that game against Boston College. I was calling that game physical game. How about BC 2-2 in the league, by the way? We were showing the standings earlier. But just a brutal fall for Hunter Couture. And like you said, one of those other offensive weapons that a team that is struggling from the perimeter to make shots, a team that could use a punch of offense, to not have him is not good.
Now Mike Young telling us he hopes to have Couture back this weekend against NC State. Would not commit, though. Officially day-to-day. Well, we welcome those of you who've been watching on ESPNU. Clemson with a 3-point lead on Virginia Tech and Schropp, Chris Spatola from Castle Coliseum. Hokies have lost 2 straight in league play on the road at BC, on the road at Wake. They're 8-0 at home. They've won 8-0 at home. They've won 9 straight overall at home. And for Clemson, the Tigers are 3-0 in ACC play. The last time they started 4-0 in league play, the 96-97 season, when Rick Barnes was head coach and Greg Buckner was their leading scorer.
How about that?
That was a Sweet 16 team. Tigers by 3. It's been a defensive game so far. Hunter Tyson coming off a 31-point, 15-rebound game, misfires. The last Clemson Tiger to go for 30 and 15 in a game before Tyson, Horace Grant, back in 1987 against Wake Forest.
I mean, everything there except the finish. I mean, really good execution on that set.
Brevin Galloway with his second 3. He's a volume shooter, and when he heats up, he can carry a team for stretches. Justin Mutz. He's got 2 fouls. So does Grant Basile, who controls. Now Maddox thought about it. Mutz from the corner knocks it down. Chris, the way he has evolved his offensive game and his time in Blacksburg, a testament to Mike Young and player development.
No question. He is the poster child for that phrase, player development. And Hunter Tyson just left him. Caught ball watching as Maddox got in the air, or MJ Collins rather got in the air.
Here's Hall for 3, and the answer.
And that's where these 2 front lines, Mutz on one end hits a 3. He's now bringing up the ball, and then P.J. Hall, Hunter Tyson, that front line for Clemson, can also face up, hit a 3.
MJ Collins, the freshman. Mutz on the dribble drive over Godfrey. A lot of contact. Mutz wanted a foul. Gets the basket instead.
In their 3 conference games, he's averaging 21 and 10. Been as tough a matchup as anybody in this league.
At 18 and 11 over the weekend, Beadle just beat his man to the rim.
He's going to be a good player, the redshirt freshman. He's really shifty, quick. He's got jitterbug vibes.
Basile lost it, recovers. Collins down low. Basile lines it up. It does not go. Battle for the offensive rebound. And we'll get a foul on Clemson. It's on P.J. Hall. And that's his second. Kentucky and number 7 Alabama, Saturday, 1 Eastern on ESPN. What's wrong with Kentucky?
Man, they don't know what they are or what they could be offensively. They just, even watching them last night in that game against LSU, you've got a monster on the interior. You've got a point guard in Xavier Wheeler who I think can create a lot. But just a lot of guys who are trying to figure out who they are, how they fit in offensively.
There was an article in The Athletic this week where opposing coaches, speaking anonymously, were saying that John Calipari's offense is not the cutting-edge offense it used to be. Do you buy that?
I buy it. There's not much different, and I think some of it comes down to the Jimmies and the Joes that he's got on their roster. There hasn't been a lot of complication to John Calipari's offense. Like, you watch these 2 teams we're watching tonight, Clemson, Virginia Tech. I mean, they run a lot of stuff, a lot of crossing stuff, a lot of actions and sets that they're calling. There's not a lot of that with Kentucky. And I think sometimes when you have guys who don't have that IQ or certainly that offensive capability, you can bog down.
Godfrey, meanwhile, just picked up his 3rd foul. He had provided a nice little lift off the bench. Maddox, the drive-by, the pull-up, good.
I wonder if this is the breakout game for him. It's been a real struggle making shots for Darius Maddox, but Mike Young trying to steal a few minutes here. Justin Mutz with the 2 fouls now on the bench.
Here comes Maddox the other way, and fouled by Tyson on the way up. Tyson making the case that he got all ball.
Number 5, Hunter Tyson, that's his first. To the line, Hokies 13, Darius Maddox.
It's a no layup foul right there. Nicely executed by Hunter Tyson.
Virginia Tech in the double bonus. And Maddox with 8 points in the first half. Last year, 51% from 3, down to 27%. Boy, if he can bring that number up just a little bit, it changes the calculus offensively. Tyson from the outside, and that rolls out. Lynn Kidd, the Clemson transfer, grabs the rebound. Tyson just 1 of 7 from the field after a career night the last time out.
And he's had clean looks in this first half.
Entry pass to Basile, too much air, and it's Middlebrooks with the intercept.
Those are the turnovers that we are not used to Virginia Tech committing.
Mike Young said, that's not who we are. We cannot turn the ball over. Tyson again. Shooter's going to shoot. Now 1 of 8. Virginia Tech with a chance to tie. They can take the lead with a 3. Clemson's led most of this first half. Here's Maddox for the lead. Tyson, another rebound. He's done the work on the glass. That's 6 rebounds. And we get a timeout. For those of you watching on ESPN News, to keep watching this game, flip over to ESPNU.
First half, which has led to the foul trouble we've seen. It's also led to turnovers. Both teams locked in defensively, done a nice job guarding a lot of the stuff that both teams throwing at. You know, a lot of, as we mentioned, a lot of sets, a lot of crossing actions, denials in the post. 8 turnovers for Clemson has really, I think, afforded Virginia Tech the opportunity to climb back into this game.
The Hokies only shooting 10 of 27 from the field, 3 of 11 from deep. Clemson has made 7 of its last 11 from the field. Here comes Dylan Hunter. Galloway, back iron, battle for the board. It's Basile.
He gives it up to Mutz. Playing that point forward.
There's the matchup, Mutz and Tyson. Basile using that Poteet screen. Now Maddox bothered by Galloway. Shot clock down to 5. Basile down the lane. Wild shot. Middlebrook saves it. We come up on 2 minutes to play. Opening half. Clemson can move into a tie for first in the ACC with a win with, yes, Pittsburgh, who's sitting there at 4-0. Here comes Galloway falling down and called for the travel.
You know, it was interesting on that last possession when Basile gave it up to Mutz. Basile ran down to the paint. They were actually running a cross screen to get him onto the block, and Beadle defended it really, really well. But it just shows you some of the creativity Mike Young's had to go to try to create some offense, and what he's been able to do with a guy like Sean Padula.
And you're starting to see Beadle break into Brad Brownell's circle of trust. Season high 29 minutes last time out against NC State. They like his defense. He's held Padula to just 1 of 8 shooting and 2 turnovers. Basile working on Tyson. Now Maddox driving on Tyson. No. Loose ball. Rebound Maddox. New 20. Basile. Shot fake. Drive. Mutz down low. Good position. The follow not there. It comes back to Mutz. Knocked away out of bounds. And it stays with Virginia Tech.
Both these teams are really good passing teams. I mean, that was big to big. Basile with a really nice touch on that bounce pass to Mutz.
When you say good passing teams, it's the bigs who can pass real well, too.
It is.
Basile. And the Wright State transfer gives Virginia Tech the lead. We get a timeout with a great debut with the Hokies. 30 points in his debut with Virginia Tech. Last couple of games, foul trouble, defense lacking, but he comes through with a big 3.
And Mike Young takes Basile and Mutz out. Both those guys with 2 fouls.
P.J. Hall not in there as well for Clemson. He's got 2 fouls. Chase Hunter also with 2 on the bench for the Tigers. Tyson backing down Camden. Here's Beadle. Shot clock winding down. Beadle trying to drop it off down low, out of bounds, and that is turnover number 10 in this first half for Clemson.
Tell you what, those 2 guards, Padula and Beadle, are going after one another.
Now, Beadle's carved out a role on this team with his defense.
He plays hard. I mean, that's the thing. He is a live wire. He plays really hard. He's really quick. And he's taking the challenge of Padula.
He's played big minutes in this first half with Hunter on the bench. Jay Collins now. Padula with 10 to shoot. Beadle stays with him step for step. Maddox looking for separation. Fall away too strong. Tyson brings it down. Hunter Tyson just 1 of 8, 0 of 6 for 3. But does have 6 rebounds. About a 9-second differential. Shot clock and game clock. Chauncey Wiggins misfires. And Virginia Tech can hold for 1. Maddox with 3, lets it go, and hits. A game-high 11 for Darius Maddox. Is he coming out of a shooting slump for Virginia Tech? Hokies with a 3-point lead going into halftime. Virginia Tech finishing the first 20 minutes on a 9-0 run. Put together 11 in the first half to lead all scores. And Schroff, Chris Spatola. Hokies looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. They're 1-3 or 1-2 in ACC play. The one win was against UNC. Losses on the road to BC and Wake Forest. Clemson looking to start 4-0 in the ACC for the first time since that 97 season, which ended with a Sweet 16 run. Grant Basile picked up 2 fouls in the first half. Too strong there. And Tyson brings in his 8th rebound. Tyson coming off a 31-point game, just 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting in that first half. Here comes Brevin Galloway to the tin, and 1, and Clemson a chance to tie.
It's interesting, the leading scorer for both teams on the season, you mentioned Hunter Tyson, 1 of 8, Sean Padula also 1 of 8. And so both teams have had to get some other guys involved here, and one of those guys, Brevin Galloway, the transfer from Boston College. You know, I was talking to him earlier today. It's the best he's felt physically. You know, tore his ACL, played at around 225 pounds last year at Boston College. He's down to about 210, so he lost some weight, shooting the ball well.
And he's another guy that helps out on the defensive end. That was his calling card when he was at the College of Charleston, a guy who could shoot the 3 and play quality defense. Padula looking for Maddox, and that's Galloway in the passing lane. Virginia Tech coming off an ACC tournament title last year as a 7 seed, and their run in Brooklyn started with a second-round win against Clemson. Darius Maddox a 3 at the buzzer in overtime. Padula contested, knocks it down over Shefflin. And Sean Padula, 17.5 a game, looking to get going here in the second half.
It's that dribble handoff, those handoffs off the pinch post. Both these teams run a lot of that.
Padula almost came up with a steal. Almost got Mike Young, too. Chase Hunter played less than 7 minutes in the first half with 2 fouls. And we get one down low as P.J. Hall hits the deck. It's going to be on Kidd. That's his 3rd.
Third personal. Second team foul. Checking back in for the Hokies. 34.
Elijah Poteet back in. He gave Tech some quality minutes in the first half.
Former teammates at Clemson, Lynn Kidd, the transfer from Clemson to Virginia Tech.
They had a very cordial pre-game exchange.
They did, exchanging pleasantries then in the paint.
34 of Elijah Poteet, his first 13 foul of the half.
You know, that two-headed monster of Poteet and Lynn Kidd, you know, when they were coming off of the bench, when Hunter Couture was in the lineup, you know, they're giving Mike Young about 10 and 5 combined, which is really good bench production on the interior.
Poteet picked up that last foul. That was something Virginia Tech didn't have last year, which was depth at the forward positions as Hunter misfires. You had Mutz, you had Keve Aluma. You didn't really have a whole lot after that. Padula, the drive and dish. Comes back to Maddox. Padula from the corner. Hits! Hokies have their largest lead. Hall looking to answer. Knocks it down.
3-point basket is good by 24, PJ Hall.
It'll stay with Tech. That's 9 now for PJ Hall, including 2 threes. Padula, feeling it.
Well, and it's not defended well. I mean, there's no sense of urgency. He just hit one. He's starting to cook here in his second half, and that was not communicated well.
Hunter down the lane. And able to draw the foul. 4th team foul already on Virginia Tech. We're not even at the under 16 media timeout. And that is going to be...
Here's this shot, and look, you can't go under it if you're going to switch it. Chase Hunter's got to be there earlier. You've got to understand Padula's coming off that, and it's obviously a good shot, but it's not well defended. There's got to be a greater sense of urgency and more communication.
Only the first foul on Padula. Chase Hunter enjoying a breakout season. In his first 3 seasons with the Tigers, only managed 2 20-point games. Went for 20 or more in 3 of the first 7 games this year. He had been their leading scorer most of the season until Hunter Tyson started getting hot of late. Padula and Hunter matched up. Now Basile and Tyson. And we'll get a foul on Tyson as Basile puts it on the floor. That's 2 on the 5th-year Hunter Tyson.
First team foul of the half against the Tigers.
Padula. Not this time. That's a heat check.
Sure is. But that's the kind of shot that he has been allowed to take. They're going to live with those types of shots.
Hunter getting 3, and Clemson within 1. Maddox off the Basile screen. Padula again. He's had the hot hand in the second half. Maddox over Hall. And the rebound to Shefflin. Tyson calling for it in the corner. Hunter didn't see him. Hunter on the drive. Dumps it off. Shefflin down low. Follows his miss. Mutz takes it away. Lob down low. Basile, the shot fake. And a little Visine.
How many times do we see big to big with Virginia Tech? Mutz to Basile or the other, or vice versa. And a nice run of the floor by Basile to get up front of the rim.
Clemson turns it over for the 12th time. Virginia Tech by 3. Sean Padula starting to heat up.
Sean Padula's had in the non-conference. He has not shot it well in their 3 conference games. 3 of 19 from 3 coming into this game. He has started to get it going here. It was 1 of 8 in the first half. 2 threes in this second half, now 3 of 6. And they go as he goes, Anish. Like when he starts to get it going, his moxie kind of carries over to the rest of their team.
He's been the catalyst all season, better than 17 points per game. The team's leading scorer. Went from a bench role as a freshman to now a starring role. And he's probably the leading candidate right now for ACC Most Improved Player. Nigel Poteet, the Rice transfer. Hunter tries to steal it away and does. Keeps it in bounds. Godfrey, who filled up the stat sheet in the first half. 7 points, 4 rebounds. Hall going to work over Poteet. PJ Hall, so smooth.
He and Tyson love that fadeaway. Tyson more, but both of them can go to that, and he took a shot from Poteet into that shot.
Muntz looking for help. Here comes Padula down the lane. Blocked by Hall. Tips it back to Godfrey. Here comes Galloway. Hunter thought about it. Drives, dishes. Galloway fires. Too strong. Muntz the rebound.
How about the block and then save by P.J. Hall?
Maddox has the mismatch. Poteet down low. He's got a mismatch on Galloway, and Galloway really didn't have any other option.
And really good recognition by Poteet, knowing who was on him, and then Justin Muntz, once again, big to big, making a post-entry pass to get Virginia Tech to the foul line. Again, a team that does not get to that foul line a lot. It's been a disadvantage for them. They are minus 18 at the foul line in their 3 conference games.
Poteet tonight 0 for 3 at the stripe.
Second half Clemson, number 10, Ben Middlebrooks.
Poteet last time out a season high 9 points, season high 18 minutes, and a loss to Wake Forest over the weekend. Rice transfer, and if you couldn't tell, he likes the physical contact. He likes banging bodies down low.
What gave it away?
Well, we had R.J. Godfrey and he go at it a few times in the first half, and you could hear the reverb on the upper deck. Hunter lost it. Padula the other way. He's got Maddox as a trailer. Padula forces it up. No. Godfrey the rebound. And now Clemson looking to run. Hunter to Hunter Tyson. And he knocks it down. Tied at 44 as we come up on 14 minutes to play. First 3 of the game for Tyson.
Remember, 26 of his 31 in that NC State game came in the second half.
Basile. There's a 3. Josh Beadle getting ready to check in. He did a nice job defensively on Padula in that first half. Muntz teeing up Tyson. Seven to shoot. Hunter gets the screen from Middlebrooks. Working around Poteet. Shot clock down to 2. Down to 1. Hunter beats the shot clock. Missed the shot. And here comes Padula and the Hokies. Muntz spinning, whirling. Maddox comes away with it. The fall away, not there. Rebound, Middlebrooks.
Justin Muntz auditioning for an and one video, bringing it back.
Godfrey bodying up against Basile, who's got the 2 fouls. Now Galloway. Basile held his ground. Tyson for 3. Knocks it down. Tied again at 47. And Hunter Tyson starting to heat up. Padula down the lane. The drop off not there. Galloway with the steal. Numbers for Clemson. Galloway to the basket. Blocked by Poteet. Basile rips it away. It's the new year. It's conference play. Muntz.
Foul.
No call. And now Tyson and Poteet get tangled.
Elijah Poteet. What a treat.
Second personal foul.
Big time block off a Virginia Tech turnover. And no free lunches at the rim tonight. We've seen a lot of missed layups. We've seen a lot of challenges as well. It's been a physical game.
Poteet just picked up his second.
And number 2 in Jake Collins.
5th team foul on Virginia Tech. Beadle comes in for the Tigers. Dylan Hunter in there as well. Lynn Kidd and MJ Collins now into the game for the Hokies. Hall down the lane, little finger roll, and an offensive foul, and that's 3 on P.J. Hall. P.J. Hall just picking up his 3rd foul before we went to break, and he finds a seat on the Clemson bench.
And Brad Brownell thought that maybe Basile was in the restricted area. He was clearly not. This is a big-time take. I mean, not only does it change the possession, but you pick up, like you said, the 3rd. I mean, it's a big-time play by Grant Basile there.
Foul trouble for Clemson. Godfrey with 3, Hall with 3, Hunter and Shefflin both with 2. Basile and Muggs both picked up 2 in the first half. Neither have committed a foul in the second half. Tied at 47, less than 12 minutes to go in regulation. 4th conference game for both teams. Clemson 3-0, Virginia Tech 1-2, and the Hokies turn it over.
You know, it's interesting. Both these teams run that back screen where they, you get that UCLA cut, and both teams set it. Like, some teams go through the motions on that back screen. Both these teams will set that, and Padula was open. You just couldn't make a pass.
Here's Tyson, 2 points away from his 8th double-double of the season. Godfrey sets the screen. Hunter hesitates, drives. Godfrey for 3. It's good! R.J. Godfrey, the first 3 of his career. And that was not in the scouting report.
But it was not in the play. It was kind of a late find by Chase Hunter, last second. Big shot.
Now MJ Collins. Godfrey set a career high in points as well with 10 as Basile answers with a 2 inside.
Basile's been much better tonight. Struggled in the last 2 games, was in foul trouble in both.
Gave up a couple of big offensive rebounds at the end of the Wake Forest loss. Middlebrooks against Kidd. Middlebrooks through the 2 Twin Towers, and he's stuffed. And Padula is fouled, and that's Hunter. That's his 3rd. And it's going to be on Middlebrooks instead.
4th team foul.
Brad Brownell, now the 5th longest tenured head coach in the ACC. We're seeing a shift in that position over the last few years. Rick Pitino gone, Roy Williams retired, Mike Krzyzewski retired. And Jim Boeheim is still there.
Yes, he is. And don't ask him about it.
Basile can't get that to fall.
A lot of missed layups around the rim from both teams.
Oh, Padula and Hunter get into it. The foul is on Padula. Hunter looked like he took a blow to the head. It's 2 on Sean Padula. 16 fouls now, so Clemson from here on out in the bonus. Ten to shoot. Hunter on the drive, lost it, recovers, drops it off. Middlebrooks finishes.
Hunter just stays with the play. You know, those are those kinds of plays. You pop in the tape at the end of a game like this. Your Virginia Tech, you had it.
And we're going to foul on Godfrey. That's number 4.
4th personal foul, 5th team foul. Checking in for Clemson, number 11, Brennan Galloway. Also in for
Chase Hunter going to come out of the game. You know, it's his penetration. Again, going back to the shoot-around earlier today, it was such a key for Virginia Tech. The priority, keeping Chase Hunter out of the paint. His penetration breaks down the defense.
Clemson has had such good spacing this season, and so much of it starts with Hunter.
And their ability to shoot.
Kidd backing down Middlebrooks. Now Basile. Track Brought down by Beadle. Galloway from 18, yes.
He's been big tonight.
11 now for Brevin Galloway. Older brother Braden was a tight end at Clemson. Mutz falling away off the front rim. Shefflin is there. Tyson for three. Yes, sir. Hunter Tyson with 11-9 in the second half. He's hit 3 straight from downtown. And Clemson extends to an 8-point lead.
Tennessee State had 31, and he's gotten some clean looks. You said shooters shoot in the first half. Well, he has continued to fire away, and you can't relax. Like, he's able to catch and fire. Justin Mutz, a couple of those shots there, Anish, you're relaxing, you're watching the play, you're forgetting that you're guarding one of the hottest guys in the league right now.
We talked to him at shoot-around today. He said he finally feels healthy. The last 2 years, he's battled through so many injuries, and he's been one of the most productive players in this league. Basile tries to keep it in bounds, could not. A turnover for Virginia Tech, and Tech did a nice job of taking care of the ball in the first half, getting a little sloppy here.
It's just sloppy. You know, it's a team that at one point this season was averaging about 7.5 turnovers a game. They're still only averaging 9, but it's skewed, man. The last few games, it's been real sloppy from Virginia Tech.
13 against BC, 13 against Wake. Clemson on a 7-0 run. Galloway had that shot tipped. Maddox picked up by Hall. Down low to Kidd, looking for help. And it's coming our way. I was ready if it bounced, Chris. I was ready.
Got no hands.
Of the NFL, Chiefs and Raiders Saturday. Kansas City looking to lock up the 1 seed. Trevor Lawrence, former Clemson Tiger, he can lead the Jags to the playoffs in his second season. Jacksonville and Tennessee, AFC South title on the line. North Dakota State playing rival South Dakota State in the FCS Championship. The Bison, that's how it's pronounced, looking for their 10th title in 12 years. And then Georgia looking to go back-to-back Monday against TCU.
But you know what they say, Anish. You can throw out the record books when the Dakotas get together.
Yeah, the Dakota marker is their rivalry trophy, and South Dakota State has actually had North Dakota State's number the last few years. Clemson's got its largest lead of the game here, 57-49, 7:53 to go. Beadle, Galloway, Shefflin, Hall, and Tyson, the 5 on the floor for the Tigers, and we get an offensive foul.
Clemson 0, Josh Beadle, his second personal.
This has been a physical matchup all night, and I like it. I mean, first of all, he lifts his leg right between. It's going to get called. You know, where do you go for offense? Darius Maddox gave them 11 in the first half. He's got a donut in the second.
Padula's been quiet since Beadle came in on defense. Basile's given them a bit of a spark. Driving down the lane, can't finish underneath. It comes to Galloway. Basile, Poteet, Mutz, Padula, and Maddox. The 5 for Virginia Tech. Tyson leaves this one short.
Again, I think you're fortunate. You can't be that far off of Hunter Tyson.
Beadle staying with Padula. His defense has been superb. Basile's 3, good. 13 for Grant Basile.
There's such a gravity to Sean Padula's penetration. He drags that Basile defender with him.
Basile got lost on the screen. Shefflin to Hall. Off the window, too strong. Poteet cleans. Entry pass, Poteet, blocked by Hall, and they're going to get a foul. That's on P.J. Hall. That's number 4.
Fouls on Clemson's 24, P.J. Hall.
It is his 4th.
Fourth personal foul.
6:31 to go. P.J. Hall does not like the call. Poteet had position.
Another big-to-big pass, first of all. Just a terrific pass from Justin Mutz. And then good recognition. There was no help behind. Poteet had him sealed off. And Poteet back to the foul line.
So Hall will exit. Substitutions for Clemson: Middlebrooks, Chase Hunter, and R.J. Godfrey. And now the offense really for Clemson is going to be Tyson, Hunter, and Brevin Galloway. Godfrey's had a career night with 10 points. Middlebrooks had 10, a career high last time out. Three-point game, 6.5 to play. And Brad Brownell calls a timeout as Castle Coliseum comes to life. ACC tournament second round last year in Brooklyn. That game went to overtime. The Hokies won on a Darius Maddox buzzer beater. This one coming down to the wire, 57-54, 6:18 to go. Hokies trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Clemson looking to go to 4-0 in the ACC. Hunter down the lane, the scoop. And we'll get a foul against Clemson. It's on Middlebrooks.
Fouls on Clemson's number 10, Ben Middlebrooks. That's his second. 18 foul and a half.
8th team foul on Clemson, so it's a 1-and-1.
You know, these guards, whether it's Padula and Beadle or Padula and Hunter, they've kind of gotten into this back and forth, this mano-a-mano. And there are times where Chase Hunter, he's so good at getting to the basket. There's times though where he can kind of get in there and just kind of throw up one of those shots. And it's just not productive, particularly at this point in the game. You can get a better look.
Seven unanswered by Virginia Tech. And a 1-point game. Godfrey, too strong. Padula, outlet to Basile, and fouled on the way up. And a chance to give Tech the lead from the free throw line.
What a run of the floor by Basile. I mean, he got out, ran the floor, showed his hand, and a nice little drop over the top by Padula.
R.J. Godfrey has fouled out. That's number 5. And P.J. Hall with the 4 fouls, coming in with 5:44 to go in regulation. They appeared to, and now they're going to the monitor. So you're going to see if this is a common foul or something more. What do you see, Chris?
I saw it as a common foul. He was flying though, and when a guy that big tree fall hard.
A common foul, says Brian O'Connell.
It's more the momentum of 235 pounds. Caught a little bit off balance.
Get a little reverb off the Castle Coliseum floor. So Basile at the free throw line, 71% on the season. 2 shots and a chance to give Virginia Tech the lead. The Hokies have their first lead in more than 8 minutes. And now it's Clemson. 3 minutes without a field goal. Hunter, the shot fake. Shefflin. No good. Mutz is there. Basile on the baseline, still dribbling. Still plenty of time to shoot. Basile, the fall away. Rebound, Hall.
Yeah, you would have loved, he had the matchup. They had to look at him twice. And by that time, you end up with a tough shot.
Hall had Tyson. Instead, we'll go to work on Poteet. Poteet bodied up. Nice defense by the Rice transfer. Padula losing Hunter. Now Mutz. Clemson has missed its last 7.
Let's get Hunter Tyson a shot. He's got to be the guy down the stretch.
Ten to shoot. Shefflin down low to Hall. Shot clock down to 6. Hall facing up. Puts it on the floor. Turnaround. It's good. P.J. Hall and Clemson quiets the crowd and takes a 1-point lead.
There's that fadeaway. And again, it's the body contact with Poteet that kind of sends him into that. But Hall and Tyson love that fadeaway on the block.
Mutz against Shefflin. Short. Hall down low against Poteet. And a rebound to Elijah Poteet. We come up on 3 minutes to play. 1-point game. Padula gets free, fires. No good. Hall battles and wins the rebound. We get a whistle. Media timeout. 2:57 to go. Clemson and Virginia Tech down to the wire. P.J. Hall with the 4 fouls with 13 points. Tech used that game as a catalyst to win the ACC championship, and it would not surprise anybody if today's game came down to one final shot. 1-point game with less than 3 minutes to go in Ashraf Chris Matola at Castle Coliseum. The students aren't back, but this place is getting loud. 7 ties, 5 lead changes tonight.
It's been a game of runs. In this second half, Virginia Tech down 8 at one point. They fought back. And then Clemson to have to reclaim this with the momentum Virginia Tech had. It's been a game of runs.
Both teams have 2 timeouts left. Virginia Tech in the double bonus, Clemson in the single bonus. Hunter got Padula in the air and draws the foul.
I'm telling you, on those back screens, at that foul line area, they set them. And that's what shakes Chase Hunter loose there. And a really nice shot fake.
Hunter is 77% free throw shooter. Maybe the most amazing stat. Clemson now 9 of 10 at the free throw line tonight, Chris. In their ACC games this year, they came in 58 out of 62 as a team. As a team, better than 90% in conference play. Small sample size, yes. Impressive nonetheless.
Sure is.
Here's Maddox. Has it taken away. Hunter the other way. And the two-handed finish.
What a defensive play. And he read that thing the whole way. He knows that's a curl. Maddox coming off. He stuck his paw in there, poked it away.
Well, they remember, and that was Hall nearly picked up his fifth. Kidd, the former Clemson Tiger. Dangerous pass. Basile. And Kidd the follow. And a timeout by Mike Young. Virginia Tech has one left.
Now, this is a set that Virginia Tech runs. And Chase Hunter digs off of Sean Padula to come down and get that thing away. And then a nice job finishing athletically on the other end. He's been huge tonight. His defense, he and Beadle on Padula, and then he's come up here big down the stretch of this game.
Padula's got 11 points, but 4 of 15
He's
from
had
the
to
field.
work. Yeah, he's had to work all night.
Now the big offensive weapons from Virginia Tech, none have really shot it well. Basile 5 out of 14, Mutz 3 out of 11. It's been a grinded out slugfest. If Virginia Tech wins, they get to 2-2 in league play. The Hokies, the defending ACC tournament champions, a program now that has been to the last 5 NCAA tournaments. This is their high renaissance. Clemson won just 8 league games last year, a chance to get halfway to that total here on the 4th of January.
I think road wins become so important. Clemson's already got one. You look at Pitt, 3-0. 2 of those on the road, or 4-0 rather, 2 of those on the road.
We saw it earlier tonight, Miami losing on the road at Georgia Tech. Hunter for 3, short. Padula tracks it down. Tigers get back. A 3 to tie. Padula against Hunter. Maddox, corner 3, in and out.
It was there, and Brevin Galloway was ball watching. He expected Padula to drive it. A good catch and shoot opportunity.
Here's Hall, catch and release. The rebound by Padula. We come up on a minute to play. Maddox in that left corner, a familiar spot. Padula's runner, not there. Big rebound, it comes to Shefflin, and he's tied up and fouled. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Ian Shefflin, 74% free throw shooter.
I know you're fighting for the rebound. That's a giveaway foul, and you've defended the last 2 possessions. You've gotten stops if you're Virginia Tech. It's not a smart play from Justin Mutz. You just pointed out how good they are from the foul line. Now it's Shefflin. It's a big spot for him, but nonetheless, it's not a good foul.
It's a 1-and-1. And it does not go.
1 minute to play. 1 minute to play.
Mutz against Shefflin, who got the start today with Alex Hemingway still out. Now Maddox. 10 to shoot, 45 seconds to play. Mutz draws the foul. He's got 2 shots coming. Trying to pull Virginia Tech closer. Clemson and Brad Brownell looking to escape Blacksburg with a win. Hard to do. The Hokies have won 9 straight here, 8-0 this season.
It's been a quiet scoring night for Justin Mutz. He's averaging 21 points in their 3 conference games. I think part of that is he's had the assignment of Hunter Tyson all night.
He's done the other things. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. And gets them both. Hunter on the drive, leans in, draws the contact, and draws the foul. He got Padula in the air, And he knew he was going to at least get 2 shots out of it. Able to draw the contact. That's 4 on Padula.
He wanted that because he had Hunter Tyson wide open in the corner. I mean, look at Hunter Tyson in the far corner. He's just begging for it. But as you said, that shot fake is such a weapon for Chase Hunter.
A 2-shot foul. And Hunter hits the first. If he makes this and you're Clemson, Chris, do you foul up 3?
Not yet, no. You play this out. You know, I'm around, it depends on who you talk to. You know, 6, 7, 8 seconds is more your goal. You play this solid defensively.
3-point game. Virginia Tech has 1 timeout. Clemson with 2. Tech has missed its last 3. Basile against Hunter. Wild shot. No, tipped up. Battle for the rebound. It's Tyson. And he is able to call a timeout, or did he get fouled? They say he got fouled.
And how about Chase Hunter? Defensively, he ends up on Basile. They end up switching that. And he's strong enough to defend, and then Basile just off balance. You know, he just couldn't get his feet under him to get a good shot there.
So Tyson, their best free throw shooter, 89%. 11 points, 14 rebounds tonight. Eight double-doubles on the season, 3 in a row. He has played at the level so far of a first-team all-conference forward. And this would make it a 5-point game with less than 16 seconds. That last free throw made it a 2-possession game. Tyson gets them both.
You don't need 3, but you got to get this thing towards the rim quickly.
Padula lost Beadle, stops, fires, hits!
Well, you didn't necessarily need 3 unless the defender falls down, and it was the speed, the burst of Padula that gets Beadle off balance and the change of direction. My goodness. And then a nice
sold separately.
No kidding. And a nice job settling himself. He didn't rush the shot, got his feet under him. Wow.
4-3 for Padula. He's got 14. And Clemson now with a 2-point lead. And the ball, 10.7 seconds to go. Both teams in the double bonus. Tigers will likely put their best free throw shooters on the floor. Virginia Tech will have to foul if you can get it inbound, but Chris, what can you try to do to deflect the inbounds pass?
Well, it depends on how you defend the ball. You know, what kind of size. They'll be able to run the baseline. And as I always say, offensively, the most important player on the floor is the inbounder. It's critical in this position. And then guys for Clemson have to be receivers. And then you got 2 options if you're Mike Young. If you put somebody on the ball to just kind of trace it, make the pass difficult, or you take that guy off the ball, the first guy who breaks loose, you stay with him. There's a number of ways to defend it.
Do you put somebody on the ball?
No, I would take somebody. I'd have somebody kind of face guard to see who pops free early. Make that initial thrust a difficult pass, and maybe you get the secondary guy to be the catcher.
We're told they're going to add a little time. 11.2, so a half second added. Tyson will inbound. Muntz shadowing Tyson. And as Chris said, because this comes off of a made basket, Hunter Tyson can run the baseline.
You got to catch it strong if you're Clemson.
Tyson gets it into Hall, into the front court. Beadle will wait, and he is fouled by Camden.
You know, it's interesting Hall gave that up. Basile has only taken
5 free throws.
You got to keep that ball if you're P.J. Hall, the junior.
Yeah, they may have to add some time. The clock continued to run after the foul. So the officials go to the monitor. This is now about the clock. When does the foul occur? Currently the clock says 5.4. You're going to get almost 2 seconds back if you're Virginia Tech. And Basile, 3 of 5 at the free throw line this season. The redshirt freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. His defense has been a big story tonight.
It has. He's going to be a good player. A guy who redshirted last season, was able to practice all year.
So 7.3 on the clock. And the way our world works, now the play where Padula hits the 3, he falls down and breaks his ankle. That's the one that gets memed and put on YouTube. But his defense on Padula for most of the game is a big reason why Clemson has a chance to win one on the road here. Basile misses the first.
Now, if he makes this is where you think about fouling.
Clemson 14 of 17 at the line as a team tonight. Gets the second. It's a 3-point game. Darius Maddox hit the 3 in overtime in Brooklyn in the ACC tournament last season. Mutz will inbound. Let's see if Clemson fouls. And when they do, if they do. Padula gets it off. Camden retrieves. That's a 2. And Clemson is 4-0 in the ACC for the first time since that 1997 Sweet 16 season.
With 2 road wins in those 4 wins, and they earned this one tonight. This was a game of runs for both sides. They were down at the half by 1. Hunter Tyson gave him a lift. He was quiet in that first